एक ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरख निरभव निर्भैर अकाल मूर्त अजूनी सैभम गुर प्रसाद। धन धन गुरु ग्रंथ साहब जी महाराज, धन धन गुरु गोबिंद सिंह साहिब महाराज। वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह। हवाए बंदगी आवर दर वजूद मरा, वगरना ज़ौक़े चुनी आमदैन नमूद मरा। काहिरे बन खोजन जाई, सरब निवासी सदा अलिपा तोहे संग समाई। पोप मद जो बास बसत है मुकरमाए जैसे छाई, तैसे ही हर बसे निरंतर कट ही को जो पाई। महाराज, we are visiting the Bani of the Japji, the first Bani of the Guru Nanak Sahib, the second Bani to be composed by Guru Nanak Dev Ji. We have crossed 33 Pauris and we are nearing the presentation of the khands, defining the entire creation in different segments of spiritual awakening. How the spirit evolves and travels through different stages of evolution within itself. In this 34th body, Maharaj is telling us about the world, the reason for why it is created, and what really happens here. Often, when we get involved in a subject, in a process, we sometimes miss the bigger picture. We miss knowing what is really happening in the project, what is happening in the course, what really happens in life. The day-to-day involvement in issues which arise out of the travel of life consumes us, and we sometimes do not understand what life is all about. Guru tells us this in many different ways. And in this Pauri also, Maharaj is telling us what life is in its travel. And what is the core reason for why life exists? If we look at a pyramid, and the top of the pyramid seems to be spreading the pyramid to itself, expanding from its peak. If we invert this pyramid, the peak will become the foundation of the pyramid, and the pyramid expands out. Similarly, in life, there is a foundation to life, and that's arising out of the core value of life. And then life spreads out in its different dimensions. We are living a physical life initially, and the physical aspects of the life dominate our mind process. But the core values of life are understood more when we go beyond the physical dimensions, when we go beyond that which is only seen and felt by the senses. So in this way, the senses are not an absolute reality to understand life. The senses are not the real picture of life. And that's why the word Maya comes about when Guru talks about the senses. Maya being an illusion. The physical reality not being absolute in itself, and being temporary, transient. And in that way, the physical senses are not the real picture of what is life. The real picture of life is understood only by the spiritual understanding of life. because the spirit sustains the physical life. But I take all my decisions on the basis of the physical reality of life. And the physical reality is temporary, it is transient, it is changing. It consumes me. My expectations of life are all in the physical realm. My coping mechanisms are on the physical realm. My environment and the definition of who I am are only in the physical realm. And in this way, life has its own inner conflict. Because the physical part of life is a smaller portion of the entire existence of life. In this 34th body, Guru Sahib is explaining the physical reality of life. And in that way, he is also traveling and traversing to the spiritual travel of the human being. And he talks about those who are exalted in the spirit, who have achieved the goals, the understanding, the feel of life through the spirit, not through the senses. Here the concept of right and wrong becomes very blurred. Would I say that the physical life is wrong? That's not what the Guru says also. But what the Guru explains to us is that if we limit our life towards the physical experience of life and do not interplay the spiritual aspect of our being, then we will miss the bigger picture. And missing the core values, the core concepts, and the focus of life, we will not be able to grasp the real meaning behind this whole game of life. Because here we take birth, we die, there's a change, we traverse. But see what the Guru says about it from the spiritual aspect. He says nobody is coming and going. Nobody is taking birth and nobody is dying. And this is all a play. So he is actually experiencing life through the spiritual existence, through the spirit, the Atma. He says there is nobody wise, nobody foolish. Na ko murak, na ko syana. He says everything is the will of the Creator. But these visions do not grasp our logic, because our logic is completely sense-based. Our logic of life, understanding of life is senses-based. We do not have a concept of understanding the inner life which we have. We don't naturally flow inward. We will flow naturally inward only when we get inspired to do that. When we are relaxed, when we are more merged ourselves with nature, when our demands and desires have gone, then it is more likely that we will experience the spiritual calmness within ourselves. Let's read through the 34th body and then we'll try and understand what Guru Sahib is saying. Well, this body is actually a very revealing in the sense that the next bodies are taking us straight into the khands, the different segments of spiritual travel of a human being, right up to Sachkhand. And we are not very far from the 30th body, which is the synopsis which Guru Sahib gives us about the experience of fear and love and stable mind. And then after that he will tell us again the two aspects of life. One is the karam, the ego world, and the other is the another world beyond the karam. Here also the same, aspect is visited. The karam world, the action and reaction and ego world, and another world where there is a true representation of grace of the Creator, the blessings of the Creator, the willingness to merge with the Creator. Ji Maharaj.
Waheguru Ji, shall I start?
Ji.
Waheguru. Rati ruti thiti var, pavan pani agni patal, तिस विच धरती थाप रखी धर्मसाल, तिस विच जी जुगत के रंग, तिनके नाम अनेक अनंत, कर्मी कर्मी होए विचार, सच्चा आप सच्चा दरबार, तिथै सोहन पंच परवान, नदरी कर्म पवै निशान, कछ पकाई उत्थे पाए, नानक गया जापे जाए. Why?
Thank you. Thank you, Gagan. Kach pakai otse paai. Nanak gaya jape jai. The culmination of the Pauri often enough gives us a signal of the synopsis. Sometimes the Rahau, the mention of the word Rahau in Bani means to pause, to contemplate. The theme of the Bani is represented through Rahau. Here, Guru Sahib is telling us that those who are kache, those who are not evolved, those who haven't understood life in its entirety, and those who have understood it, they are segregated in this world. They are selected and separated. Nanak gaya jape jai. And only then, when we go away from here, will we know what is the result of our life. Well, the individual who has arrived will know it. Because he has actually started to live beyond the physical, within the life itself. And that is represented by the concept of Vade, beyond the body, beyond the senses. So, here in our life, there will be some of us who will understand life and live it. And most of us will miss the point. Guru Sahib is relating this whole experience of life in this body. How can we understand why am I here? What is my understanding of the structure of my life is to be understood from the structure of the man which I lived through. We live our entire life through our mind, through the man. Most of us getting absorbed by thoughts. And those thoughts start to define us. There are two aspects to the man which dominate our life. One is the thought and the other is the emotions triggered by thought or by the senses. So I'm going through a lot of thought burden, a lot of problems or issues I'm facing. I get frustrated, I get burdened, I get upset, I get impatient. This is emotions. We live our emotions more than our thoughts, but the thoughts inspire our emotions. This is us. But both these worlds, the emotion world and the thought world, are a part of the changing mind which we have. It's not the real world, so to say. These are doors. These are doors to understanding and living life. And these doors open into our spirit. The emotions are the lungs of life. We live through our emotions. And through the emotions, we can open the door of our spirit. That's why Bhavana, Prem, is considered the language of God. When we live in emotional being, we live with energy. We live in completeness. When we are completely loving, then we are no more, our ego is dropped. When we are hurt, angry and upset, our ego gets precipitated. It gets more expressive. I am hurt. I am angry. Why it's happened to me? I am upset. Love expands our life, and hurt and anger constricts our life. We live two worlds. We live the ego world, the home world, and beyond the home world. In the Guru Granth Sahib, the different stages of mind are explained through Jagrat, Supan, Sukhopat, Turiya. Jagrat being the awake state, when we are woken up and we do our work, we live our life. Supan, the dream world. Sukhopat, the deep dream world. The Sukhopat avastha is where I am no more, I am lost. My ego is gone. And I connect to my source. And Sukhopat is also an unconscious experience in sleep. We don't know what happened. We feel relieved, we feel de-stressed, we feel calmer, we feel fresh. The reason is because we have connected to our source. If this 34th Pauri is to be understood from what my experience is, then it defines Dharam. Dharam is a very vast word. It has many different meanings. Two primary meanings which I have understood is that it is our duty, and second, it is the essential nature, what we really are, what our man really is. The word used in this Pauri is Dharamsal. Maharaj says Rati, Ruti, Thiti, Var. Rat, the night and day. Rut, the different changing seasons. Thit, the dates and days. What are these? These are representative of time. The world is created within time. Changing time. So, time is defined directly as the changing aspect of life. Constantly moving. Maharaj says, in this frame of life, time is the foundation of how life starts. My ego travel in this world is time-based. I come here at a certain time. I exit at a certain time. Certain number of breaths, certain number of years. This change is my entire experience of life, physical experience of life. But there is another dimension. Then Maharaj talks about Pavan, Pani, Agni, Patal. Pavan is air, Pani water, Agni is fire, and Patal is the hindered zones of life. So he's talking about the physical creation of life, of this earth, for example. There can be many such earths. But what he's saying is there is a framework in which life has been placed. And this framework is defined by A, changing time, and B, physical reality of life. There is earth, there is water, there is air, the supporting mechanisms of life. This which tarti, Apakhi, Dharamsal. In this framework of creation, the earth is placed, which is the place for Dharamsal. Dharamsal meaning two aspects of life. One is that life is temporary, Dharamsal, where I I stay for some temporary period. I'm traveling through a city. A homestay in earlier times in India were called dharamsala, places where you can stay for some time. And the other is that this is the place where dharam is earned. Dharam is revealed. The door of inner spirituality is opened. That is why the Sant will visit this earth again and again. If he has some incomplete agendas of physical life, he will do it through the physical. He has to reach his completeness in the spirit. When we spoke about the 4 aspects, Jagrat, Supan, Sakopat, the 4th is Turiya. Transcending all change is Turiya. Those aspects of me which are not controlled by time, not controlled by age, not controlled by my physical reality, but they are undefined, formless part of my creation, which is my Atma. Turiya is that experience where the Atma is lived by us. Maharaj said, "Tis vich dharti thap rakhi dharamsal." Here in this time zone, in this physical aspect of water, air, and the physical support systems we have, the earth is placed for earning the dharam, for knowing the dharam, and for visiting it for some time only. It is not a permanent abode. The Sufis call it a temporary stay, a seher mela, meeting for some time, like a visitor. Like I am only here for some time and I have to go. So my permanent nature is not this world. My permanent reality is not this physical reality. My permanent experience is not this physical experience. And the ego is like an opportunity to know my complete self, to know the way I am structured in reality in my mind, to know certain aspects of mind which are unchanging and where effort is not required, but calmness, stability, patience, those are required. Non-doing is the token, is the currency, not doing. In the physical world, we have to do. If I have to have lunch or dinner and there is nobody around me, I have to cook it. Or I have to get the food somewhere. So there is a doing related to life. Without doing, life cannot sustain itself. Because the ego wants to do to sustain itself. We get used to doing so much that we forget this non-doing aspect of ourselves. We want to do and solve, and we think we are solving it. Imagine a small pebble, a leaf thrown in a current of a river and gets carried by the river. And the river, it flows as the current is thrown. It has no real effort of its own, no real strength of its own. But if by some logic it was able to do something, then its own effort will be minimalistic. The flow of the river would define the flow of the leaf. Such is the spirit in the world. We are thrown into the changing world. And what defines us is dharam. Some rules, some basic ideas which we know of, like we will be born, we will die. We have to go through change. Constant change is our reality. These are rules which we live in. We can't avoid them. But in living these, we forget that there is a world beyond this ego world which we have. We don't remain calm. We don't remain non-doing. We don't relax ourselves. And in that way, our focus of life gets lost. We don't focus. I was speaking to a friend the other day, going through some experiences, certain pressures of life, and very easily we get drawn into them and forget ourselves, forget our stability, forget our calmness, because there is no energy left when we have committed our issues to completely in the changing aspect of life. We don't know the unchanging aspect of life. Maharaj says that the physical world is changing. It is time-bound. It is governed by change. Time is change. And the ultimate expression of change is death. Birth and death. Birth is a change, complete change in dimension, and death is also a complete change. These are mysteries to us. We don't know before birth, we don't know after death. And that is the fear of life. That's the insecurity of life. That's the lack of understanding of life. Where do the solutions lie? Maharaj says we live in our man. Then why not search in the man? Is man ko koi khojo pai. Search within it. Tan chute, man kahan samai. When the body is gone, where does the mind go? Where are these answers? The answers lie within the man. And we only know of the thought world in the man. And the thought world is dominated by change, constant flow of energy, inspired by change, by our sight, by our past experiences, by our touch, feel, what we hear. Everything is governed and controlling our thoughts. And we live these thoughts. Like a river, we are thrown into this thought world. And we've lost ourselves. We don't have any place where there is no thought. Is there such a place where there is no thought? Guru says, Chalteo man rakhe, amrit chakhe. Go beyond the changing mind. Chalteo man. And there lies amrit. There lies love. There lies happiness. There lies timeless life beyond death. So there are two different paradigms, completely opposite. And so they are that much more confusing. But when someone has walked into the spirit world temporarily, has gone into Sangat, and in Sangat there is an impact, there is an inspiration, there is an influence, there is a effort to change. Maharaj says, O bhi chandan hoi rahe, base jo chandan paas. When some tree is near sandalwood tree, it becomes sandalwood. So when we get Sangat meaning a sadhu, Sant, Guru, who inspires us to relax our mind, to stabilize our mind, to go beyond the definitions of who I am. Because the thought world defines me. We define ourselves in the thought world. Who am I? Oh, I am a very angry person. Oh, I am a very calm person. Oh, I am a very loving person. And all our negative and dark aspects also built into this who I am. But this I am is not a reality. It is not a permanent structure of us. It will become a permanent structure if we hold on to it tightly. And the more insecure life makes us, the more tightly we hold on to the shadows of life. The physical reality is a shadow of life. It is not life in its entirety. So we hold on to thoughts. And in this we forget that there is a paradigm where there is no thought. we have forgotten that mind in its true nature is very relaxed and calm. We have only understood life through the thought world. And there if we are anxious, if we have certain tendencies which keep getting revisited, then we define ourselves like that. I'm a very angry person. I'm a very upset person. I do it to myself. And the more I do it, the more I become like that. But these are not permanent realities. Let's look at some serious examples. There's a story of Sajjan Thug. Sajjan Thug was a person who had a homestay, a night stay. People used to come and stay there at night, and he would assess their wealth and kill them. And after killing them, take their wealth. So it's a very dark personality. Guru Sahib met this Sajjan Thug, stayed at his house, and could see through what he was and what he was doing. And in this meeting between him and Gurunanak, Sajjan Thug was completely changed. He became a saint. He became something completely opposite of what he'd lived. And what changed this? The presence of Guru in our lives. Guru is a stabilizing nature of life. Guru stabilizes us in our moving thought. Guru gives us a vision of our Atma, our spirit, of Naam. And he blesses us with a different life from only the physical life. Two things which in the Siddh Gosht come to light. Satgur ke janam mein gaman mitaya. In the meeting with the Guru, wandering ceases. So thoughts cease. Our searching and seeking ceases. Because we are searching, we are seeking. We are seeking for happiness. We are seeking happiness forever. In the meeting of a Sikh and a Guru, he finds this naam and happiness within himself, not outside. Maharaj says, Bahar tundat bahut dukh paya. Searching for happiness outside in the physical world, a lot of pain comes our way because it doesn't exist there. So our whole wandering is not without reason. We are seeking happiness forever. We are seeking the experience of life which will give us a state of being where there is calmness, happiness and love. Our intentions are absolutely right. But we are lost in the sense that we do not have a vision of our inner mind. We do not have an experience of our inner mind. We have only the physical experience of life. Guru gives us the vision and experience of our inner mind, which is Naam. Satgur ke janme gaman mitaya. So he gives us a new birth, a spiritual birth. Opens the door of the mind where the spirit gets revealed to us. Pure gurte naam paya jaye. And Guru blesses us with Naam. Naam is our inner happiness, unconditional love, and unconditional happiness. And it is the awareness of what life is. Life in its entirety is full of love and anand. But we don't live that aspect. When we visit life through our ego self, through the home, we will always find that life is pain and sorrow. This is the opposite dimension. Just see, when Gautam Buddha lays the foundation of Buddhism, he starts by this single reality, He gets inspired and triggered by this single reality that the world is dukh. The world is pain and sorrow. That's the reality of this world. And inspired by that, he visits the reason for this dukh, which he says is trishna, desire. Desire being the physical desire. Our need for happiness triggered by this desire in the physical. And then he says, but there is a way out of this trap. This is a trap of the man. And that he calls nirvana. Guru Amar Das in the Bani of the Anand tells us that meeting our Guru opens the door of Anand within ourselves, which is unconditional happiness, which is what we are seeking. We are seeking happiness and we don't want death. These two things, when they are merged together, the word Amrit comes. Amrit meaning never die, full of love and Anand. This exists within us, within our mind, within the mind beyond our thought. So thoughtlessness is an ingredient of meeting the spirit world. But there is another ingredient to it as well. Being calm and relaxed will make us calm, but will not give us the experience of Anand. For that we need the Guru. So Maharaj says, this which tarti thap rakhi dharamsal. This is the place where we earn dharam. Connection to our inner source is dharam, as I define it. Connection to this man, where our Anand lives, our Amrit lives. That is our dharam. So there is one structural dharam which we all know, Hindu, Sikh, Muslim, Christian, Jews. This is the structural, outward structure of dharam. It's different for different people. It has different rules, different concepts. But when we go into the inner dharam, the dharam of the man, beyond this structure, it's the same for everyone. So that's why Guru Nanak says there's only one dharam. Sarv dharam mein shreshth dharam, har ko naam jap nirmal karam. That he says in our inner mind. And inspired by that, our pure thought and mind. This which tarti thap rakhi dharamsal, this which ji jugat ke rang. In this life of the physical world, there are different species, different colors, different methods in which creation is flowing. Varied, infinite. One inspires the infinite, the opposite, the opposed pyramid. From the expanse of one, the many come. Tinke naam anek anant. Many are these creations. So here I will pause and talk about 84 lakh, a concept which gets written in the Guru Granth Sahib often, and what it means. In mythology, it is mentioned that there are 84 lakh different species in creation, 42 lakh in earth and 42 in the sea. The 84 lakh by itself has no real meaning. It's not an absolute word. It literally means there is infinite number of species in creation. Infinite numbers in which life gets expressed. Because there is no fixed amount of species. Every day new species are born and new and old are dying. We go into the depths of the sea and we find there are so many different species we have never experienced before. We go into the past history of life and we find fossils which have creatures which we've never known earlier. So life is an evolution. It keeps evolving in numbers, in different forms, different shapes, flowing like a river flows. So here Maharaj says there is infinite forms of life in this earth. Karmi karmi hoy vichar. This is the ego world. Karmi karmi. The action, karam. That is defining our vichar, our state of being. Our life is defined by our karam. The ego life is ruled by the karam. Remember the Pauri in the Japji earlier when Maharaj talks about punni papi akhna hai. Kar kar karna likh le jao. Ape bij ape hi khao. Nanak hukmi avo jao. He says, punni papi akhna hai. Pun and pap, good and bad, are nearly not merely talking words. Kar kar karna likh le jao. As we do, so it is written. Where does it get written? It gets precipitated in our mind immediately. Our thoughts, our doing has a reflection, and it creates a anagram, an energy center within our man. Instantly. Anything good or bad, right or wrong, whatever. So here there are two lives which we are living. One, what we are doing, and one, the repercussion of what we are doing. Kar kar karna likh le jao. As you do, so it is written within us. Ape bij, ape hi khao. When I am the doer, then I am the one who will bear the consequences. Nanak hukmi avo jao. And the one signature of this ego world, of the home world which we live, is that we keep wandering. Because karam is a trap. Every action we do traps us to its result. Good or bad. Swami Vivekananda in his book writes that karam being a trap, you leave the bad karam for the good karam, means you leave the iron chain for the golden chain, and then leave the golden chain and get free. That's another matter, that his guru had not freed him all his life. He had told him that you will never be free. I have your key and I will not open it. Anyway, the issue here is that there is a freedom in this life which is away from our thoughts. There is a freedom in our inner mind which is defined by not the doing world, the karam world. So when we do and the ego world and live in the ego world, we get trapped by the doing of what we are, the living of what we are doing. Ape bij ape hi khao, nanak hukmi avo jao. And this is the hukum of the Creator. That what the ego world, the man does, or person does, a human being does, he lives the repercussions. He or she. And what is defining this is vichar. Karmi karmi, voi vichar. Sacha aap, sacha darbar. But the Creator is the truth, beyond all change. And truth is His presence. This whole world is His darbar. This is where the Creator lives, and we meet the Creator. We meet that part of ourselves which never changes. Tithe sohn panch parvan. Now Maharaj has gone beyond the ego world. Tithe sohn panch parvan. If you remember in the Pauri of Suniye, Maniye, and then after that came Panch. Panch are those who are selected in the spirit, selected in their experience of the spiritual world, who are the Brahmagyanis, who are those who know their inner mind, who know and experience the Anand within themselves, and for whom the doors of Hukam open to Anand. They are the Panch. They are governed by different rules. The karam is governed by, the ego is governed by the rule of karam, by doing. And in the ego, beyond the ego world, Tithe Sohan Panch Parvan, there the rule of governance is another. The blessings of the Creator. The experience of love given by our Creator to us. Nadri Karam Pave Nisan. The sign, the signature, Nisan of these people who are Panch is governed by the grace, the Karam. Karam word in Persian means the grace and in Sanskrit means the doer. So we should understand the difference. Nadri Karam Pave Nisan. How do we get to this another world? The travel from the ego world to the another world is what life is all about. That's the reason for why earth is established. That is the Dharamsal. That is the temporary abode. A man entered a house where a Sufi was sitting, and the house was empty. So the visitor asked the Sufi who was the owner of the house or sitting in the house, "Where is your furniture?" And the Sufi turned back to him and said, "Where is yours?" So the visitor said, "But I am only a visitor." Sufi says, "So am I. I am only visiting." But in this visitation, there is a difference between us and the Sufi. Sufi finds a house within himself which is his permanent abode. Kar, thir kar, nij thau. And we find and work for houses which we have to live and go away from, where we temporarily reside. We make those our permanent homestays. We think we will be here forever. Nor will our worries be forever. Nor will our problems in the physical world be forever. But they are one way of telling us that life is changing, and life will exalt its pound of flesh from us. What we do, we will have to answer for. Even the Sant will do that. The Sant also lives through that experience. But he is not in denial. He is willing to go through the pain while keeping a part of his mind stable, while knowing that this is the Karam world he has to live through. And this is not forever. We think, we feel, and we get consumed by the thought that this misery which we are living through on a day-to-day basis is a permanent life. I use the word misery because exactly that is what it is. It is a temporary expression of happiness with a whole lot of pain. Even if we have found our happiness, we will leave it. Even if we've established a perfect relationship, it will end in death. Until the experience of life comes from the spirit, it has no permanence. It has no stability. And it has no grace in the sense that it is not fulfilling. It will always leave us hungry. That's the nature of the another world. That satiates us. The physical world doesn't satiate us. No matter what we go through, what we do, what we have, eat, drink, what we experience, our hunger will keep growing. Whereas in the another world, it satiates us and we don't feel hungry anymore. hunger and love have a direct relationship. When a child is hungry, mother's breast of milk gives him or her satiation. So food and love have a direct relationship. The more loved we are, the less hungry we will be. The more love we will get, the more stable our mind will be. The lesser pangs of hunger we will get. But this is not an easy road. So if somewhere we get this feeling that this will be for someone who's walking the spirit world, there will be no pain or there will be no experience of change. That's not true. That is also happening. But with every experience of pain and change which a sant goes through, he reinforces his inner mind. So he doesn't blame the nature for what he is going through. He sustains that, knowing that there is an inner mind where he finds his peace, his love. And the stronger that bond becomes, the lesser impact the outer world will have. That is why we see that in the Sikhs who had really achieved spiritual bliss, even physical tortures did not have much of an impact. Guru Arjan Sahib Maharaj is the martyr, first martyr in Sikhism. And he doesn't blame anybody for what he is going through. Similarly, there are other many examples by Mani Singh. There are so many where he is being cut to pieces. Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib Maharaj, Bhai Dayala, Bhai Mati Das. These are people who have been tortured physically, but yet don't shriek out in blaming others for what is happening. They have found in an extreme way a world within themselves which is more permanent than this physical world we live. This is our choice. This is our free will. Whether we choose the physical world only or we live the physical world and we find the inner experience of spirit. That's how this word Atam Ras gets coined. Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Maharaj in one of his lines says, Atam Ras Jai Janiye, so hai Khalis Dev. Prabh mein, moh mein, taas mein, ranchak nahi na ped. One who knows the experience of the spirit, Atam Ras, the joy of the spirit, the Ras. So hai Khalis Dev. He is the Khalsa, he is the Devta. Between him, me and the Creator, there is no difference. So a Sikh and the Guru and the God become one in love. Why are we here? We are here to find the real life, which can never be taken away from us. The real happiness. The Anand within us, which is another world, beyond our ego world, beyond the Karam world. Karam is an action-reaction of our doing. Now, what are the rules of the Karam world? Maharaj says, Lekha kato na chutiye. This writing of Karam, we will never escape it. Hum khin pulanhar. My doing will not be the answer to my life's problems. Bakshanhara bakshade. Nanak Parotar. The Creator intervenes in our karam. He tears up our karam. The Creator blesses us and tears our karam and frees us. This is the only way out. Anandpur Sahib, a Muslim Peer, comes to Guru Sahib and he asks this question, Maharaj, when Karam governs us completely, what is the need to bow to the Guru? What is the need for Guru? We have to live our Karam in any case. Maharaj says that in his answer, says, you get me a stamp and get me a paper where a stamp is put on a paper. Now when the stamp we see as it is inverted. But when we stamp it on a piece of paper, it gets straightened. It is not inverted. It reflects in its in the opposite way. Maharaj says similarly, the karam of a Sikh, which are inverted, gets changed and blessed by the Guru's presence. He may still go through pain, change. He may still go through his life, but in a different way. If some intervention of the Guru happens, possibilities are immense. Even death can be transcended. Guru Amar Das says this to Guru Ram Das, that your life is short. And he gives a part of his life to Guru Ram Das. Intervention of the Guru. That is why Maharaj inspires us to stabilize the mind. He says, Thir kar baiso har din pyare. Find your inner house and become stable there. What will happen as a repercussion? Satgur tumre kaaj saware. All your issues will get resolved by the Guru. In the present world, where is our Guru? Do we have to go look for someone who's wearing a gown, white gown, dressed in white, or the physical Guru? Guru Sahib says that our Guru is Shabad Guru. Shabad is the energy of the Creator present in all realms. There are three darshans of the Guru. One is the Creator, the God Himself. He is the first Guru, primal Guru. The second is the form Guru, Shabad Guru in form, Guru Granth Sahib. And the third is the Guru's presence in the Sikh who has achieved, who is the Khalsa. Because Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Maharaj has clearly defined it. Khalsa mero roop hai kaas, Khalse mein ho karo niwas. So Guru has changing paradigm. But Guru being Shabad means that our inner mind, and we will visit this in the Pauri of Stramkhand, where Guru tells us how the Shabad transforms us from within. And in the end, in the Pauri, in the end, he says, Kadiye Shabad Sachi Taksal, Kadiye. Chisel away the falsehood from the man. Shabad is our taksal, is our mint, is our wealth. How do we meet our Guru? Through the Shabad Maharaj. Gaviye suniye, man rakhiye pa. First be calm, be present, and sing the Shabad. Mool mantra, waheguru, not for the other person, but for yourself, for within you. So you don't go into a public function, look around who's here, what are they doing, what is happening. You look inwards, don't look outward. Sufis call this the 11th direction. North, south, east, west, northeast, north, south, 8 directions on this plane, up and down. 10, 11th is inward. The Sufi wants to go inward, where there is no compass. But the Guru's Shabad sustains us. And in the inner world, Shabad is our light. It's our knowledge. It's our jap. Maharaj says, Jap man satnam, sada satnam. Halat palat mukh ujal hoyi hai. Jan Nanak ko gore madini, jap har pavjal tarna. You go beyond the changing world, pavjal tarna. Jap, which is the Japji. Now, how does the Jap transform me, Maharaj? I lived for 5 years, nearly 5 years with Sant Gyani Niranjan Singh, who in my experience was a immensely spiritual being. He had a lot of love for me, so he kept me with him. When we would be talking or discussing something, his hands and fingers will be moving constantly. He will be japoing with his fingers, unconscious jap. It's happening. In the Gurbani, there is an example in one of the Shabads that like a child flies the kite and is talking to his friends. While he is talking to his friends, his dhyan is on the kite. While the ladies who get water from their pitcher and put it on their head, they talk and laugh all the way, but their dhyan is on the pitcher. Such is how we live life. We live the physical, but our dhyan is in the Shabad. How do we do that? We internalize the Shabad. We start first by Vaikari, by saying the Shabad. Gaviye suniye, putting our dhyan in the Shabad. And when we have put our dhyan in the Shabad, our Shabad becomes dhyan. The moment we sing the Shabad, our dhyan comes. It's an association. And then this becomes an unconscious part of our life, our inner life. Shabad Kadiye. In the Sram Khand, Guru Sahib will tell us this. We want to go beyond our changing thought world into the world which never changes, into the world which has immense peace and love. Shabad is the way. Shabad is the Guru. The Siddhs, the yogis asked Guru Sahib, Kavan mool, kavan matvela, kavan guru kiska tu chela. What is the mool, the foundation of life, the tat of life? Why do we take birth? Kavan matvela. Kavan guru. Who is your Guru, Gurunanak? Whose chela are you? Maharaj says, Pavanaram Satgur Matvela. Pavanaram. Breath is our starting of our life. Satgur Matvela. Meeting the Guru. Meeting our Guru is the focus of life. Meeting our inner Guru, an inner experience. And Shabad is Guru. Surtatun Chela. The focused mind without ego. The merging of these two reveals the spiritual realm of life without ego. Like we leave our slippers and shoes outside a house and enter. We leave our ego outside the thirgar and enter. Guru Sahib is talking about another world where the Creator is blessing us constantly, transforming us within ourselves. Karmi karmi hoy vichar, sacha aap sacha darbar, tithe sohan panch ka praman. Panch, the beautiful panch, are exalted in this world who have got the Shabad within themselves. They don't have a big baggage. They don't necessarily have or not have wealth, but they have Shabad. Within their man, that is their mint. When Bhai Nandalal talks about wealth, He says, Daulat Javed Bashat Pandgi. Javed means forever. That wealth which is forever is bandagi. Is the love for our Guru. Bandagi, kun bandagi, kun bandagi. You do your bandagi. Make that the main focus of our life. While living this physical life, while flying our kites, talk to your friends, discuss with them. The worldly life is there, but the dhyan is in the kite. The dhyan is in the Shabad. That's the real world. Nadari karam pave nisan. The nisan, the signature of the Creator's presence, is the nadar. Karam sacha nisan. My doing is not the answer. I am not the answer to the key of life. He is. The Creator is. Because the Creator is everywhere. Within me and without me, this whole energy system is only Creator's presence. You and me are a transient, temporary experience, not permanent. This ego world is a method of meeting the another world. If our focus is on the another world, we will reach there with the Guru's presence. Kach pakai othe pai. In this world, who has arrived and who has missed the boat, they will get segregated. They will get separated. They will get selected. Nanak gaya jappe jai. When we go from here, only then they will realize where they are. Maharaj talks about this world and why we are here in this world. Now we have to decide how it will change me. How this Shabad of Guru Nanak Maharaj, his talking to us, changes us, is the transformation that is required. Because the Bani is the Guru, Bani is our direction, Bani is our Amrit. When we go from the ego mind, beyond the ego mind, Amrit comes to our life. And that is through the Guru's presence. Amrit Bani Har Har Teri. Then how does it get revealed, Maharaj? How does this Amrit come to my life? How do I find Anand within me? Sun sun jiva paramgat meri. By listening, the transformation starts of our mind. Suniye, maniye, man ki tapa. Listening to Shabad transforms and takes the mind into maniye, merging with the Guru. And we find love within ourselves. It's very simple. Sit in the darkness of life. There's no light, no magnetism. Wash, bathe. Just sit by yourself and sing the Shabad in darkness. That's all it needs. We live years and years and years. We don't spend one moment trying to go inward. And that's a curse. And the more we seek outside, the more pain we find. The faster we are able to go inward, the pain gets detached from us. Life is only a pain if ego is a limitation. When Shabad is our inner reality, then pain goes away. Death goes away with Shabad. Shabad is the Guru. Maharaj says, go inward with Shabad. And it will open a new vista of life, new vision of life. a new love and happiness, a source within me, which is my real wealth. The physical wealth of life, people can take away from me. In fact, it will be taken away. If I have a lot of money also, I will die one day. It will be taken away. If it doesn't get taken away while I'm living, it will be taken away by death. But the Shabad wealth can never get taken away. That's why he says that is more valuable. Kadiye Shabad Sachi Taksal. That's the truth. Sachi Taksal. Jinko Nadar Karam Tinkar. Those who are blessed like you are. We must believe that. If the Guru I can reach to, if I have this breath and time in life where I can experience Shabad, then I am blessed. I must use this valuable experience of life and go beyond my changing life into the Shabad world. There's misery, problems, troubles, so fine. But yet there is a calmness within me. And yet there is love within me. Yet there is a source of happiness within me. Yet there can be a door opened to me which is blossoming, which is celebrating. There is complete heat outside, 44 degrees, and yet there is an air conditioner cooling my inner mind. Shabad is my air conditioner. Shabad is what breaks me from death. Shabad is what transforms my man to the non-ego mind. The 34th Pauri, the one before the khands will start and the darshan of such khand happens. The Japji Sahib meeting Guru Nanak. I apologize for any errors I would have done. Bani of Guru Nanak is not, it's an ocean. A person like me can never do justice. Maharaj bless us with his presence, his love, and his sustained support. That's our prayer. And let's find a solution to our life. With this, I end today's session. I invite any questions. In Zoom, you can raise your hands. If you are in YouTube, you can write it out. And then we will, after that, we will visit the Bani of Anand before we end the session. Thank you for your presence. Waheguru Ji ka khalsa, Waheguru Ji ki fateh.
Waheguru Ji ka khalsa, Waheguru Ji ki fateh.
Waheguru Ji. Waheguru Ji Maharaj.
Can you please explain the Darbar?
Darbar is the court. Directly, if I translate Darbar word would mean the court. So Darbar is the entire life, entire world is the Creator's court. Depending on our vision of the Creator. Our vision is finite, we will find the Gurdwara, the Darbar. But if our vision is through the Shabad, the entire world is his Darbar. बाहर भी तरे को जाने ऐ गुरु ज्ञान बताई जी महाराज.
Can we say creation kind of? No.
Entire creation you can say, why not?
And what about Nissan?
Nishan is signature, sign, presence. Nadar is his Nishan. His grace is His presence. His holding our hand and taking us beyond our changing mind is the presence of the Creator. We don't feel it because we don't know it. But those who know it see and feel His presence everywhere. In fact, feel Him only. शक करो जे दूसर होए. Allah पाकं पाक है. The Creator is pure and purest. Shak karo, doubt if there is another. There is no other. This whole creation is only the Creator. You and me are temporary phenomena, not a permanent reality. Shak karo je dusar hoye. जी महाराज. वाहेगुरु जी.
Kach Patai is a kind of karma or
Those who have experienced the completeness of life and those who have not are kache and pakke. Kach is those who haven't experienced completeness, and pakke are those who've experienced the life. They get segregated by life's inner experience. That is what life is about finding completeness in life. They get separated by death. Death defines different routes for them. One is going into samajana, into merging with the Creator, and one is going into wandering. The Karam world is in wandering. The another world finds rest and peace. Samajana. Kahan te aave, kahan hai jaave, kahan hai rahe samai. Where does they come from? Where do they go? Where do they find rest and peace? Samana. Merge with the Creator. Will I be able to merge with my Creator and find rest and peace? This is my question. Is it yours? जी महाराज. वाहेगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहेगुरु जी की फतेह. धन्यवाद. Thank you so much.